Well, folks, we've reached the end of the Dino Summer. For the past 2 months and 8 weeks, we have looked at some of the greatest hidden gems within the dinosaur world of films, starting with The Lost World from 1925. Well, 90 years later, we are ending things on what I would consider a sour note. We have a new Jurassic World movie coming out next week. Before that, I figured we could talk about one of the most important films to come out in the past 10 years, and that is Jurassic World, the original Jurassic World. Jurassic Park 4, Jurassic World 1. So, there you go. This was one of the biggest films of the year it came out, in a year that had Avengers Age of Ultron and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Some might say, one of the worst years for cinema. Because everyone's going to try to recapture that magic. Well, you just can't. Unless you're Jurassic Park for some reason, because these movies make a lot of money. I have seen this before. I don't know if I have seen it since the cinema, but I have definitely seen this movie. And I have reviewed Dominion when that came out. A very bad movie that I don't like. I'm so mad we're ending things here. This is a really bad movie, and I had a terrible time watching it this time. I cannot for the life of me explain why I hated this one so much, or what about the things that we are seeing upset me, but just everything that was happening, the characters, the world, the story, I did not respond well to any of it. I think this is very problematic in terms of what legacy sequel franchise culture is going to become. And I don't think this is like the first, nor is it the worst offender of this era or this type of movie, but it's a very notable one because audiences responded well to it and we got a bunch more movies out of it. So the concept for Jurassic World, if you don't know, which you probably do, why wouldn't you know, is we have to do another Jurassic Park, but it's 2015. We gotta do things a little bit differently. So it's gonna be a bigger park on a bigger island, and it's gonna be like more people and stuff happening around you. This movie is a lot of setup, and I understand the need to do that because that's what Jurassic Park is. And I think we could have easily talked about the Jurassic Park film from Spielberg, but I don't have much to say on that film that hasn't already been said. We'll get to it eventually. I figured just probably you don't have to pay Michael Crichton if you use the word Jurassic World. I don't know. Or his estate, I guess, because he passed away. Nonetheless, we have this like rich guy who's like, I'm going to do Jurassic Park but better. He's got this woman named Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, to run this amusement park, and it's been open for a while. This isn't some preview night. The park's been open. The dinosaurs exist. Now, I want to get this out of the way because I don't know if this is going to be like factual to other people and their experiences. I watched the 4K HDR version of this that I rented off of a site. It looked really bad. The compression rate from seeing it in IMAX to seeing it now on my 75-inch television, I did not like the way the effects held up. Motion smoothing is off my television. It just looks, this is the best we could do back then, you know? And I say back then, it's been 10 years. Oh, man. This movie was so annoying. Where do we even want to start? I think we should start with the two kids because it's a 4-quadrant movie. You have to have children in here. Judy Greer's their mom. She sends them on an airplane so they can go see their aunt, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, at her big amusement park. But she's a working girl who's busy, so she can't see her nephews. So they're going to evade the assistant that's watching them and then get trapped in like dinosaur hijinks as the park falls apart. I'm trying not to be cynical about this movie, but it's really hard not to when it's literally the same events happen. We shouldn't make this. This isn't a thing that should exist. That's why it's sci-fi. A park with big creatures that want to eat you is a bad idea. So these kids suck. I don't think there's anything interesting about them. One of them is Nick Robinson, and he went on to do like a thing people liked on Netflix, I think. The other ones, that kid from the Iron Man movie. They're fine. They get the job done. Their children, meaningless. They don't come back for the other ones. Thank God. They just are there so there's things to worry about. Remember, the original Jurassic Park movie had kids in it. This is another problem I have with Lego sequels, is just how far technology advances. It's not as interesting when everything is set in the present day and we could just answer phones and destroy tension, so we have to like knock out cell towers and computer shit. It's just so annoying and egregious, and it doesn't add anything. I just don't like looking at a big holographic screen or a big computer map that we can like zone in on special stuff. What made the first film work is just how analog it felt, but this is all bullshit. I hate it all. It looks stupid. I think this park would be fun if you've never been to a zoo before. But the smart thing I think this movie does conjure up is that the novelty of dinosaurs could wear off pretty quick. Because this is Jurassic Park 4, so the novelty would wear off. They have to introduce something different. And they do. They invent a new dinosaur. Thank God we used them all. We did everything with every dinosaur we could. So we have to make a new one called the Indominus Rex. And it can camouflage itself, and it's very smart, and it like ate its twin or something. So it's like dangerous and it's gonna break out, and then the T-Rex is gonna have to fight it. I like a big creature. I like a big creature design. I think it looks whatever. Like, if you asked me to design a dinosaur, which, you know what? That is something I did in school for a project once, and I had a bad time with that project because my partner kind of like took it over and made a really annoying creature I didn't like, and I'm like, no, we have to be better than what this is. And I hated the name. That's unrelated to just, I think this is better than what I came up with when I was like 12, you know? But it's not great. It's definitely like a first pass. What if there was like a bigger, cooler dinosaur that could camouflage itself and hide in the shadows and was like, sorry, there's a hair on the mic. It could like eat people and stuff. What would that be like? I don't know. Probably fine. I guess the other thing about this that makes it very modern is the like military ramifications. Vincent D'Onofrio plays a character who's like, could you imagine these raptors in war? That would be sick. Which is a concept we haven't done. Okay? All of these dinosaur movies that we've talked about, the dinosaurs, except for in the Pixar movie, well, even in that, there are some bad ones. They're all bad guys. Why don't we have a Dino Riders movie or something? That'd be way more fun. I don't want like the Michael Bay military complex dinosaur movie though, but just give me some colorful dinosaur stuff. Anyways, Vincent D'Onofrio's here. He's like a guy who's like, military? Send him over to Iraq? Or something. So that's the other characters. We also have Bryce Dallas Howard, like I said. She's my favorite part of this movie just because they really are just like, girl boss, your way to success. I really like the look. That's not a hairdo that a normal person should have. She looks way too beautiful for that hair. She is terrible around children, doesn't know how to talk to children, how to talk to anybody. And she has a park to run. That job would be stressful. I don't know why she would agree to see her nephews when she has shit going on. There's a lot of shit going on, and it instantly falls apart. So she is my favorite character in this, though, just because everyone else annoys me a little bit more. That leads us to Owen Grady, played by Chris Pratt. And we haven't really talked about Chris Pratt on this channel. I'm not a fan. I think when he first started to like kick off post Parks and Rec and did Guardians of the Galaxy, there was a really interesting future for this type of lead. It is kind of like the millennial Harrison Ford, schlubby, everyman, has a very good facial expression, and then the further down we went into him as an actor and a leading man in action movies, the more he kind of went full Stallone, and you're like, oh, maybe I don't want to hear what you have to say off the screen, and the more I see the roles you pick, the less interested I am in what you do. This is right after his big success with Guardians, so it's like leading a bigger movie. He plays a raptor tamer who's like the only guy that can tame raptors. That's how we get Blue. Blue's a raptor that's like coded to Owen or something, and they like team up later on a motorcycle to fight a thing. Anyways, Owen has a history of Claire. They like went on a date, and they're gonna be fine later. Meaningless stuff. You could have just said they're already dating. I don't understand the fake tension. No chemistry between any of these people. They're all just kind of annoying. You also have the two people in like the security room, which is Jake Johnson and it's Lauren Lapkus, and you're like, hey, these are comedians. Fun. There's just so much cynicism to this movie where it's like, I can't believe we're doing another Jurassic World. Characters say that within the movie, and like, I think that's just the way everyone feels. Like, why are we just doing this again? The same things happen. Like, the T-Rex shows back up. Raptors do stuff. Only now we have a bigger dinosaur. There is some coolish shots where we have the dinosaurs fighting each other, and the Mesosaur gets to do some fun stuff. Like, that's interesting. But the human dynamics, it's just so forced, and you don't really buy that these are people. They're all caricatures, just weird, obsessed little nothing characters. I don't like this movie. We've talked about a lot of really shitty movies on this channel, and I have suffered through some bad stuff. I'm not saying Jurassic World is the worst movie we've talked about, but this is a movie that really frustrated me watching it because I'm like, I just can't give a shit. This doesn't hold up in the terms of its aesthetic. It doesn't hold up in the terms of its story. These characters feel so obvious and bland. It really goes nowhere. And then suddenly it's just like, well, now dinosaur stuff has to happen, so we have to make it bigger than Jurassic Park. And I'm like, you could just make it better? I do know what happened here. Universal said, we don't really have to make a great movie, but if we just make things people remember, we can own dinosaur films forever. And they're gonna, which is something we're gonna have to live with. And we're feeling that now. So yeah, there's so much set up to just like, here's the location of the island. Here's, the Indominus Rex got out. Oh, other dinosaurs are freaking out now. Oh, things are happening. Oh, Jurassic Park's happening. Oh, is that Jimmy Buffett at a Margaritaville? Why would you think to do this again? I don't understand that. But also, I've seen so much bullshit in the real world where people are trying to make the same thing happen that was like a failure the first time. There's never been a good sequel to Jurassic Park, and you're trying to reboot it on like a bigger scale of like a bigger audience that makes it more interesting to children today. But the product placement is so obvious, the camera work is so lazy, nothing really feels good, and it just falls flat. But aside from some random looking dinosaur shots that I do enjoy, especially like the aquatic ones are really fun, this doesn't do anything like that I haven't seen done better. I mean, are there practical dinosaurs in this one? Maybe a couple? I don't know. And then some weird forced like love story kind of between the two leads. Like, I have no problem with Bryce Dallas Howard's character running in heels, because she's a beautiful lady and I want to see her run while she's all sweaty and being chased by a dinosaur. So that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is her introduction when she's in the elevator and she's talking to herself about remembering the names, and she's like, hi, welcome to Jurassic World. Like, yeah, we know she's a business girl and she's all serious and stuff. Why can't we make her a little more like comfortable in the action stuff? She has to be, that. Whatever. Also, like those weird sphere things that the kids go into, that's a dumb idea. I don't know a single zoo, and maybe there are some, I don't know every zoo that's existed, where they let you like go into the pit with a bear or something. Why would that happen? Why would you be like allowed to like roam around in a sphere in a dinosaur enclosure? That's such a liability. Everything is stupid in these movies because you shouldn't do them. The whole point is we shouldn't do it, and no one. And I guess that's the point of is it the Masrani character? Is he the one that finances everything? That's the point of his character being like, I could do it better than Hammond. You can't. You can't. Nobody can do anything better than anybody. We're all terrible. This movie is bad. It made me bored. Jake Johnson's character is like, wasn't Jurassic Park cool? And we're like, people died. He's like, yeah, but it was cool. Look at the shit we're in. And I'm like, I guess. Thanks. Look, they can't all be winners, Dino Summer is, if anything, it is a huge mixed bag of crap and good stuff. This was a hard watch, and I can't believe that next week we have a new one of these to watch. Jurassic World 4, Jurassic Park 7, Rebirth 1, whatever. Anyways, like the doubleheader of this and The Force Awakens coming out the same year, you're just like, oh yeah, nobody actually wants to see anything new. They just want like the stuff they know rehashed in like worse packaging. I gotta rewatch The Force Awakens to see if that is the case. But man, Jurassic World, I'm sure when I watched this 10 years ago, I was like, this is fine. But this time around, I don't like a single thing except for the beautiful woman that is Bryce Dallas Howard. Let her make her Star Wars movie. So that's going to be the end of Dino Summer. We did it. The best movie of the bunch is probably 1925's The Lost World. They all downhill from there. The first one's the best one. Who would have thought? It's like the Jurassic Park franchise. Anyways, we'll be back next week with Jurassic World Rebirth, and we'll be back with another episode of Movie Tales. Until then, thank you all for watching this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck, and hey, let's all go to our local Margaritavilles, have a nice drink, and get paid some good money for this fuck-ass movie.